Welcome back to my new video. This video, we are going to be talking about Istio. What is Istio? Istio is a traffic management application. It also helps in security, observability, and extensibility. Okay, so what this means is that once you deploy your applications, you need a way to be able to direct traffic and when there is a need. In cases like when you deploy a new version of your application, you want to migrate traffic to the new application, but you want to do it systematically. Okay, so Istio extend Kubernetes to establish a programmable application-aware network using Envoy service proxy. So this Envoy service proxy is it's a sidecar container that is being injected into your pod or your deployment. So it lives side by side with the service, and the Envoy proxy communicates between other services. So you could have multiple services. So as you look at the diagram, you see that the Envoy proxy is being injected into service A and service B. And these Envoy proxies are communicating among themselves. And once they're communicating, they're also interacting with the service itself. And then there's a control plane that collects metrics about whatever is happening in your pod. Okay, so Istio brings standard universal traffic management and telemetry and security to complex deployment. So the traffic management deploy capabilities like inter-service routing, failure recovery, and then load balancing. And for the observability, it provides an end-to-end view of traffic flow and service performance. With the security, it also engages in encryption, role-based access, and authentication and authorization across all the services. So there are some components that comes with Istio, and it's three core components. That is the Istio Egress gateway, as well as the Istio Ingress gateway, and then the istiod. With this component, it also comes with some profiles like the default, demo, minimal, external, empty, and preview. So if you look at the default column, you see that there's two check marks, which means that the default profile is responsible for just two components. That is the Ingress gateway and then the istiod. And then the demo covers all the three components, minimal just one, preview just two of those components, just like the default. But in this tutorial, we are going to make use of all the three components, which is the egress and then the ingress gateways. Okay, so if you look at this piece of commands, that is what we are going to be using to install Istio. Okay, and we are going to deploy a book info application, and this application deploys information about a book similar to single catalog entry of an online bookstore, which displays the description of the book details such as the ISBN, number of pages, and so on, and review service. Okay, so the book info is broken into 4 separate microservices, and you have the product page, the details page, the reviews, as well as the ratings. And if you look at the image on the right hand side, you see that the request comes in as an Ingress Envoy. The request comes into the Ingress Envoy, and this Ingress invoice services is being injected into the pod, And those Envoy communicates with the service or the product page. So the product page is like the entry point for our application. And as you can see on top of it, this application is actually written in Python, okay, as a microservice. And this Python application is interacting with other services like the reviews microservice written in Java. And it also communicates with the details information written in Ruby. And then the last one, which is the ratings microservice, which is written in Node. And this ratings application communicates with the reviews microservice. And as you can see, the reviews one doesn't communicate with the ratings, it's on its own. And then the reviews two and then reviews three, it's getting information or communicating with the ratings service. Okay, so basically that is the architecture of the microservice written in 4 different languages, and applications are broken down into several pieces. And the Envoy is a second container that is running as a sidecar with the main application. So as you can see, the envoys are all injected into the different microservices. And as you can see, the product page has its own namespace. Review also has its namespace. Ratings has its own namespace. The details also has its own namespace, but they can all be communicating with itself. Just for the fact that they are living in a different namespaces doesn't mean they cannot communicate with each other. Okay, they can all live in the same namespace as well as communicate. So if you look at the MySQL database, that one is a VM that is running on some on-prem namespace. Okay, and there are 3 versions of the reviews which I just talked about, but the review version 2 and 3, they range from 1 to 5, and for the V2 it's a black star, and then the version 3 has red stars, so you take note of that. So this kind of architecture is what is called a polyglot. That is a microservices that are written in different languages. So in this case, for the book info application, there are 4 different languages. So it is worth noting that these services have no dependency on Istio, but they make an interesting service mesh. So as you can see, the mesh, all the different connections, it becomes like a mesh. Okay. So particularly because of the multitude of services, languages that they are written in, and then the versions for the review services, you can call this as a service mesh. So I'll show you the tree structure of the book info application as well as the Istio. So yeah, these are some commands that are, and also the last thing that you must notice also is that the Istio comes with dashboard services, and these dashboards are of 4 types: the Grafana, the Jaeger, the Kiali, and then the Prometheus. So we are going to be looking at all these dashboard that logs metrics from our Istio application. So I'm going to switch back to my terminal so we can have a demo. So currently I'm in my terminal, and then my current working directory is this. Okay, so as you can see, I just have one Istio folder, which is Istio version 1.12.1. Okay, so if we look at the tree structure, you see it's a whole big giant file. So if you look at the samples, that is where the book info application lives. So you can see the add-ons folder, which has this four files in the extra, and then the 4 files, YAML files outside the extra folder. So as you can see, we have the Grafana, the Jaeger, the Kiali, as well as the Prometheus. Okay. And then the book info has a networking folder with all these files in the book info gateway, virtual service all, virtual service ratings DB, MySQL, and then the virtual reviews 50, 80, 20, 10, and 90, and a whole bunch of files. We'll be looking at them. But in this tutorial, we are just going to make use of just few of the services. And then in a later video, we're going to do more. So if you look at the platform folder, there's a folder in there called Cube. And then as you can see, certificate, book info certificate, .yaml, book info -db, book info details, blah, blah, the ratings, v2, and then there's a cleanup file, which we're going to be using in the future. You see, we have a policy folder as well. Okay. And then there's a source build service.sh. We have the MongoDB, there's some script, ratings, JSON file, the product page, which is written in Python. So as you can see in this template, there should be some Python files in there. As you can see, the requirements.txt files. And then the reviews, you know, that is written in, the reviews is written in Java. So as you can see, the Java folders. And then the details page was written in Ruby. Yeah, so basically, and also you can see the tools folder. And where is our last folder I want to talk about? Yeah, there's a ratings, there's a reviews. Yeah, so I think that is it for now. I was looking for the details folder, but I don't see it, but I think it's here, but probably I'm scrolling too fast. Yeah, so I think that is the structure of this Istio folder, but this is an older version. So we're gonna install the latest Istio version. So to install the latest version, before we start, let me create some few namespaces. So let's say kubectl get nodes. Okay, so as you can see, we have 2 AKS nodes that are running. I'm going to create a namespace, create namespace. I'm going to call it Istio demo. And then I'm going to switch to that namespace config namespace Istio is equal to -demo. So currently we are making use of Istio demo. As you can see, this is our namespace. So now we are going to install Istio. So from their main website, this is how it looks like: curl -l, and then you path to this URL, and then you pipe it to sh. So it's going to download to our current working directory. As you can see, it's version 1.13.3. Okay, so it's done. It's done downloading. So if you look at the folder, you can see that this is the current version that Istio has. So also, if you go to the page, if you want a specific version, you can run this command. You see, this is the machine type or the target architecture. And then this is the version that you need to specify. You see, the Istio version. So if I want version 1.2.1, I just specify it here and then download it. But if I want the current one, it's 13.3. Okay. So I think basically that is it for the installation. So now we are going to cd into that folder. So we're going to say cd Istio 13.3, and you can see there's a bin folder, manifest, samples, and then tools. So sample is where our book info application lives. Okay, so let's go into the ls you see, in the ls folder, we have only Istio binary file, which is called Istioctl. So I want to copy this to user local bin. So I'm going to say sudo copy Istio, this binary, to this location so that we can have it Istio as a global variable that we can call each time we need it. So it's going to ask for my password. Okay, so I think I need to go in there before. So let me do this. So it's copied over. So if I type which Istioctl, you see that this is the path. Okay, so if I say Istioctl -- help, you see it works. So you have all these commands available: admin, analyze, dashboard, install, profile, version. So let's see the Istio version that we have. Version, you see, we are running 13.3, and Istio pod is in this Istio system. So if I say Kubernetes, you see, we don't have any Istio system currently installed. So what we can do is we're going to install the demo profile. So I'm going to say Istioctl install using the demo profile as we saw in the presentation slides, or if you want the default, you can just specify it and then it works. But we are going to use the demo, which has all the three components: the Ingress, the Egress, and then the istiod. Okay, so we're going to install this Istio. Yeah, so as you can see, Istio core is installed, the istiod is installed, the Egress gateway, the Ingress gateway is installed. Okay, so now we can now install our sample application, which is the book info. And then the book info lives in the sample. So I can say ls samples. So as you can see, we have all this for the add-on, book info, hello world, open telemetry, rate limit, security, and all that. So we can again look at the book info. See, the book info has the networking, the platform, source, policy, and then some Swagger YAML. Okay. So I'm going to install the book info YAML, which I'm going to call cat book info, which lives in platform. And then the cube is in the cube folder. Then I'm going to call the book info.yaml. So if we cut this book info, you see that it's just a bunch of objects, Kubernetes objects. Okay, you see the kind is what? Service. And this, it has also what? A service account, a deployment. You see the deployment, and then the image is this one. And this one is also the rating service. It has a service account, a deployment, okay, and then the review service. So in that order, so that is just basically this book info file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it. I'm going to say kubectl apply, and then I'm going to say it's coming from samples, and then book info, platform, cube, and then the book info or YAML. Okay, so I'm going to run this. You see, all the service account deployment, everything is created for us. Okay, so what we can do now is we can say kubectl get all all wide. Oh, it's too let me remove the output wide. Let me just say get all. Okay, so as you can see, we have about 6 pods that are running: the details pod, the product, the 3 versions of the ratings, and then the reviews. Okay, and then we have services like details service, product service, rating service, and then review. So we have 4 reviews. And then we have 6 deployments, which is details v1, product page v1, the 3 versions of the reviews, and then 1 ratings. Okay. And these are the replica sets. Okay. So now let's check the let's check now. You see, we have the Istio system namespace created for us. As soon as we install the Istio, this namespace got created for us. So let's look at what is in this namespace. So we can say kubectl get all hyphen Istio system namespace. Sorry, I think it's Istio, not, yeah. You see, in the Istio namespace, you see we have the egress installed for us, the Ingress, and then the istiod, the 3 components that we talked about. It all got installed for us, and they are all running. Okay, and then we have 3 services as well: the egress service, gateway service, the Ingress gateway service, as well as the istiod. Okay, and if you look at the Ingress gateway, it has a cluster IP as well as external IP that got created for us. Okay, so this is the IP that we are actually going to be using as our Ingress controller. Okay, we could as well create external IP for all our services, but we are just going to depend on just this IP. Okay, you see the Egress doesn't have any external IP, and then the istiod also doesn't have it. Okay, and then you can see the 3 deployments. The 3 deployments here, the service as well as the pod. Okay, so what we can do next is let's get our ports. kubectl get ports. As you can see, currently we have 1 out of 1 ports that are running. Remember, where is our Envoy service proxy? You see, we need to enable this. We need to inject the Envoy proxy into our services. But currently, because we didn't enable it, it didn't get installed. So what we can do is that we can say kubectl delete -f sample book info platform cube, as well as the book info.yaml. See, we want to delete it. Once we delete it, we want to enable the injection of the Envoy proxy. Okay, so this is how we need to label our namespace, the Istio demo namespace, as what? Istio injection enabled. So we're going to say kubectl label the namespace, the Istio namespace, and then we say what? Enable. Okay, this is the tag we are giving to this namespace, Istio demo. Okay, so if we say kubectl describe describe namespace Istio demo, you see it has labeled it as what? Istio injection enabled. Okay, so that is what we have just done up here. Okay, so now we can go back and then run our book info application. So let's run this. Yeah, so as you can see now, all the service and the service account and deployment have been installed for all our application. So now we can check kubectl get ports. You see now we have the details, the product ratings and review running side by side, okay, with the Envoy proxy. Okay, so let's look at just this port. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to say kubectl describe port, then the name of the port. You see, if I go up, we're going to see some interesting stuff. You see the Istio proxy, it's running on this image. Okay, that was what was injected as a sidecar container to our main container. And then the state is what running and on this port 9080. And then the main container is what is called what details, and it's getting it from this image. Examples, book info, details, v1, 1.16.2. Okay. And then as you can see, we have some resource limit for memory and CPU. And then the init container is this one. Okay. So this is what is going to run before any other container. Okay. And the IP is this one. And then it has a label app is equal to details, and other one version is equal to what? V1. Okay. So that is, and it's running in this namespace, Istio demo. So we can also look at our services. kubectl get service. So as you can see, we have 4 services: details, product page, ratings, and review. Okay, all running on the cluster IP. No external IP exposed yet. Okay. So what I can also do is, let me get a port. Let's say, let me use the product page port. Okay. So I'm going to say kubectl get port, and then the label that I'm looking at is app is equal to ratings. And then the JSON path is what? Items, the first element of the list, the meta name, and then the name. So I just want to get the name. Assuming I don't know the name of you see, so it was able to pull the what? The ratings v1, this one. Okay, that is the app that is being labeled as for ratings. The other one that we look at was I think it was app product page. You see, that is the name of the port. Okay, the one up here, this one. Okay, so that is how you get the name of a port. Okay, the name of the port based on these labels. Okay. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this information to inject into the product page. Yeah, so I'm going to inject into this pod. So I'm going to say kubectl exec -it, and then let me copy this name. let me think it's FC. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call okay, so let me get into the ratings container instead. So let me cancel this. So I'm going to say kubectl exec8 and then the ratings container. And then I'm going to say ratings container. Then I'm going to say --kel. And then I'm going to say product page. The product page, which is running on port 9080. And then it has a URL product page. And then we are going to grep. We're going to grep. We're going to pass the pipe and say grep. The output should be in this form. Title, everything in that title. And then we close the HTML tag. And then we run this. We didn't get anything. Okay, so let me see what the issue is. I think the kel. Not sure why it's not printing. Okay, so let me exec. I think let me use the product instead of the ratings. Okay. Okay, so let me paste the product. It's not found. Okay, so I know what to do, but let's take it this way first. Okay, so I know what to do. So what I'm going to do is that get port first, and then I'm going to exec into this product page port. kubectl exec into this. Yeah, hyphen bash. Okay, so we are now in the product port. You see product page.py, which is the Python file I was talking about. So let's say localhost product page 9080, and then product page. Okay. Curl is not installed yet. So get deployment. Okay, so I'm going to use the deployment instead of the pod. So we're going to exec into the deployment. Yeah, so I think I know the reason why I was failing on exec into the pod, but that is okay. So we're going to use a different approach, which we're going to say kubectl exec exec, and then we're going to get a pod, the name of the pod, and then we're going to curl this container called ratings for this URL, and then we're going to grep, and then everything within the title tag. Okay, so if you run this, yeah, so this is what we are expecting. So it's what? Simple bookstore app. So it means that our book information app is running. So in this case, our service is still not open to the outside world. So let's say kubectl get all in the Istio namespace. Okay, you see, we only have this external IP that is available to us. So if you look at get services, you see, all the services are locked down to the cluster IP. Okay, so we don't have any that is open to the external world. So what we are going to do is we are going to use the book info gateway that is going to help us open our traffic to the external world. Okay, so we're going to cut book info, and then we're going to look in the networking folder, networking, and then we're going to click on that. You see, with the info gateway, we have the kind to go or gateway, and then it's open to every host. And then this is the virtual service as the kind. And then we are matching on all these URLs: product page, static, login, logout, API v1, product. And then once all these URLs are matched, we route the destination to what? The product page host running on port 9080. Okay, so let's run this and see what we get. So I'm going to say kubectl apply -f. We run this. So it has installed the book info gateway, and then the book info as a virtual service. Okay, so basically that is it. So let's now analyze if everything is looking good. So we're going to say Istioctl analyze. Yeah, so there are no issues found analyzing the namespace Istio demo. Okay. So basically that is it. So the next thing I can do is what is to say kubectl get gateway. So now you can see we have the book info gateway. So let's describe this and see what we can find. Describe gateway. You see, this is the description of the gateway, but let's be more specific. Describe gateway book info hyphen gateway. You see, so this is our gateway inside our Istio demo. Okay. So I can now so let's see, echo gateway URL. Okay, I already have an old gateway URL, but I'm not going to use that. So what I can do here is to get the URLs. Okay, so if I run this, you see, this is the external IP that we are going to use, but not this one. Okay, the 179. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some few commands. So you see, that is the Ingress host. So if we echo Ingress host, that is the external IP address or the public IP address. And then we're going to check for the port as well. So I'm going to run this. So if I run this command, this is just to extract the Ingress port and then the Ingress host. So I'm going to say echo port. See, the port is what, 80. And then the last one is the secure Ingress port. Okay. Okay, so this command is going to extract the secure Ingress port. Once that happens, I'm going to say echo secure Ingress port. It's running on what, 443. So the next thing I can do is going to say echo HTTP gateway URL page. So once I do that, you see, it gives us what, the URL. Okay. So the gateway URL, this one is for the old one. So I'm going to get for the new one. And then when I do it again, you see, it picks up the new public IP address. So this is what we are going to be using to test our page. Let me see if I say curl this, You see, now we have access to the HTML. We have access to the HTML, which is the sample book app. So if we visit this on our browser, so let's visit this on our browser. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that let me see. So I'm going to paste that IP address. It's going to take a little bit of time to show up. You see, so now, as you can see, we have the product page. So I'm going to be refreshing this. You see, this is the book details service. This is the ratings. Okay, these are the reviews, and these are the ratings for the reviews. Okay, so currently it's in black, so that is the review ratings 2. Okay, when it's in black, it's ratings 2. See, when I keep refreshing, you see now we have the ratings for V3. Okay, and these are the reviews. Okay, I can also log in. Let me just give it a name. GoDataProf. No password. It logs in. You see, say logs out. GoDataProf. Okay, and once I keep refreshing, I'm sending traffic to our application. Okay, so this is just a simple book app, book info app. So now we want to view the traffic in the dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to create I'm going to we are going inside the samples and then add the add-ons. Okay, so I'm going to say kubectl apply -f samples add-ons. Okay, so we're going to install every file that is in the add-on. So you see the service account for Grafana, deployment for Grafana, the Jaeger, the Zipkin, the Kiali, also installed, the Kiali, the Prometheus is also here. So everything under this folder add-ons is installed. Okay, I could just select and install, but I decided to install everything. So let's also get kubectl get all. You see, now we still have the same things running. So let's check our kubectl get all in the Istio system. You see, now you can see that we have Prometheus pod running, the Kiali pod, the Jaeger, and then the Grafana pods are all running. And you can see the Prometheus service, which is okay, the Jaeger collector is running on port 14268. Grafana service is running on 3000. And then the Kiali is running on 20,001. Prometheus is running on 9090. Tracing is running on 80. And then the Zipkin is running on 9411. Okay. So as you can see, all the deployment, Jaeger, Kiali, Prometheus, and Grafana, they're all installed and running. So to access this dashboard, what you need to do is what is Istioctl dashboard, and then you specify. So I'm going to go with Kiali first. So we can now visit this URL, which I'm going to copy, and then go to our browser. Okay, so this is the browser. Okay, so this is the browser. So I'm going to paste the URL in there. Yeah, so as you can see now, we are in the Kiali dashboard. And then this is the Istio demo namespace, the default namespace, as well as the Istio namespace. Okay, it says for 7 applications in the Istio system, and then 4 applications in the Istio demo. So if we click on this or hide, you see that all are healthy, all the services, the 4 services are healthy. The details product page, ratings, and review. So if I click on it, you can see all the services are healthy. The details is of book info gateway running alongside with the book info. See, so let's click on product page. You see, there's no graph currently. So I'm going to send some traffic. I'm going to refresh the pages. You see, I keep refreshing the page. So now if we go to our dashboard and then refresh, it says a loading graphic. So you see, this is the traffic we have just created. You see, so if I keep refreshing, we'll be creating more traffic. You see, so this is the product page, and then this is the review microservice, and this is the details microservice. You see, so this is the graph, how it looks like. And I can also look at the reviews traffic. You see, this is how the review traffic looks like. So it's coming from the product page, goes into the reviews, and then the review will interact with the ratings. Okay, so this is how the graph looks like. So if you click on that, this round information, it takes you back to the main graph. Let's look at, okay, so let me see ratings. There's nothing on the ratings, so let me refresh again and see if I can send some traffic. Refresh. I can change it to every 10 seconds. You see, so you see, this is the ratings v1, the review 3, and then review 2. You see how the traffic interact with each other. So we can use this system. You see, this is the pod, the name of the pod for the ratings. So you can use this to check the traffic on your port. See the log system, inbound metrics. You see the outbound metrics, very low. Traces, you can see the blue is the traces, and then the red is the error traces. You can look at the Envoy as well. Okay. There are a whole bunch of things you can look at. So you can look at idle nodes. Okay. You see. So the overview, as you can see, as we keep clicking on the traffic, you see we'll get some graphs. You see the Istio system, we have Grafana, Ingress, Istiod, Jaeger, and others, you see. So this is how you can, these are the 4 services. Yeah, so these are basically for Kiali. We can look at the last one, and then you can go out there and explore the rest. So let's take which one you want us to take. Okay, so I'm going to stop this. And then I think I can take another one, Prometheus. I don't want Prometheus. So let me see which one I want to go with. Get all. Yeah, it's in the other namespace. Get all Istio system. Okay, I want to go with Jaeger. Okay, Jaeger is for tracing. So I can say Istio dashboard Jaeger. So now we can copy this URL and go to our browser. And then paste the URL in there. Yeah, so as you can see, this is the Jaeger for log tracing. So if I click on service, there are 6 services. So if I click, let's say, product page, and then search, you see the traces. There are 17 traces currently. If I keep refreshing, let's see what happens. Let me refresh the Jaeger. Okay, still 17. It hasn't updated yet. So let's look at the dependency graph. You see, this is where the traffic starts and hits the product page is in the Istio demo, and then it gets distributed to the other services. Okay, so basically, that is all for now. I think you can go out there and explore. You see, whenever you hit the URL, whichever endpoint you hit, Jaeger is going to record whichever endpoint the application or people keep hitting, or whichever endpoint is receiving the most traffic. Jaeger is going to be recording it, okay, with this timeline as well. Yeah, so I think that is all for now. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.